Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break on the Week 5 XFL main slate on Draftkings. A couple of things before I get in the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA, NFL, and XFL daily fantasy sports. If you guys are interested in NBA DFS, I just uploaded my video for the main slate for Friday. So yeah, you can check that out. Also, I'm running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's 1 inch in the giveaway. Max one comment up per video. So it started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end on my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway that many times. So if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So first, look back at my lineup here from Week 4's main slate. So it was kind of a weird slate. I thought I was going to have an absolute smash day, but the one guy I thought would not let me down, and that was Cam Phillips. So we'll go over my lineup. I did cash in the tournament. It was close, but hit the cash. I think it was a $25 or $30 tournament. I forget. Yeah, Philip Walker, Lance Dunbar, Flynn Nagel, Cam Phillips, Nick Holley, DeAndre Tompkins, and the Battlehawks defense. So yeah, spending up for Philip Walker made sense as a safety option. He was solid, 21 fantasy points. Lance Dunbar was my favorite running back. He had 14.5, more than enough there. Flynn Nagel and Nick Holley were the two value guys I really liked. Both were really, really good. Again, I talked about the stacking that game. It was going to be the highest scoring game, 27-20. Flynn Nagel had 16.6, Nick Holley 23.7. So you think, oh, everything's great. And then, yeah, Cam Phillips comes back down to earth in a big way. Only 1.9 fantasy points, 1 catch and 9 targets. That's one where, I'm fine with it, right? I was really confident in the value around him, and pairing him with Philip Walker made sense in a really high over-under game. It just, was a surprise letdown. He was high owned, 60% owned. A lot of people were on him. So obviously that's a disappointment, but I don't think I made the wrong play there. It was just, he had a really, really bad day. Really bad day. DeAndre Tompkins, that is just DC is a mess right now. I don't know what has happened. They looked like the best team in the league the first 2 weeks, and now they look like the worst team in the league last 2 weeks. So, yeah, targeting their receivers is a little bit risky. Battlehawks defense is okay. But yeah, all in all, it's still snuck in the cash. Hopefully you guys had a good week as well. XFL's been pretty solid this year. Week 1 through 3 have been really good. Week 4, again, was okay. Could have been a lot better if Cam Phillips had a bigger game there. So let's talk about Week 5 for the XFL. Unfortunately, the contest here dropping a little bit, right? The first couple weeks was like 100K to first. Last week was 50K. Now it's 25K. So 25K to first. So be sure to enter those contests, guys. DraftKings keeps putting out good big size contests. Let's take a look at some Vegas numbers here. We have the Dragons and the Roughnecks, a 46 over under, the highest of the week by far. 12.5 point favorites the Roughnecks are. Guardians, Renegades, 37 over under. Dallas are 7.5 point favorites. We have the Battlehawks and the Defenders, 38.5 over under. The Battlehawks are 5 point favorites, and the Vipers and the Wildcats are 40 over under. The Wildcats are 2.5 point favorites. So as always, we'll start with quarterback, and Philip Walker at the top at 12K. If you can get to him, I think is a really safe play. He has the highest floor out of anyone, right? 32, 23, 42, 21 fantasy points the first 4 weeks. He's the best quarterback by far in this league. He has a little bit of rushing upside as well. So yeah, if you can get to him, obviously he's a safe play. It's a little bit tricky to get to him now compared to on recent slates, just because there's not as much value, especially with running backs. Like running back is like a wasteland this week. But yeah, again, if you can get to Philip Walker, I have no issue there. Josh Johnson at 10.5K, I think I do have some interest. He is obviously one of the better quarterbacks in this league as well. 18, 26, and 25 in his first 3 weeks. So I think he's a solid play if you can't get to Philip Walker. Jordan Tiamo, like as well, just because of his rushing upside, right? He had 16 rushing attempts at last game. So he kind of gets you there with that. He has a floor because of that rushing upside and does have, pretty big upside if he has a good passing day. Now the concern is St. Louis does really like establishing the running game, working both Christine, Michael, and Matt Jones. So if St. Louis gets off to a big lead like they did there against New York, we could see them just pound the running game, and that could affect Tiamo. The next tier of guys, I have basically no interest for quarterback. I'm not going to get to Cardell Jones. Cornelius, I'm not going to get to. We have Quentin Flowers coming back, so that could just hurt his upside. McGloin, Luis Perez, they've been splitting the snaps. Don't know what's going to go on there. I don't think you get to either of them. If Perez would start, I would have a little bit of interest, but probably still wouldn't go there. Philip Nelson, I don't think I get to him at 7.5K. The real interest I have as a cheap option here is B.J. Daniels. Now, they're still in a quarterback competition, but he came in, closed that game, and was really solid. 5 of 10, 50 yards, also 7 carries, 84 yards on the ground. And again, the reason I like him is because of that rushing upside. Now, if it's going to be like a 50-50 split, then don't know if I'll get to him. But if he's going to be a starter, if he's going to play the majority or if not all these snaps, I would have a good amount of interest in him. I like streaming players against Houston because Houston is going to score a lot of points. It's going to force the other team to be more aggressive offensively. So, yeah, B.J. Daniels starts. I would really like him. He would probably be the quarterback I would get to. So yeah, as a core right now, I'm going to throw B.J. Daniels in there. That's assuming he starts, right? If he doesn't start, then I would probably get to one of those guys up top, whether it be Walker, Johnson, or Tiamo. Again, the mid-range there, I have like very little interest. Let's talk about running back. So this is kind of a wasteland. The two Dallas running backs are obviously viable. No Landry Jones that could be relied on a little bit more heavily here. Both are utilized a lot in the pass game, so I think both those guys are fine if you can get to them. Artis Payne and Dunbar. Probably Artis Payne is a little bit more safer because he probably gets a little bit more work on the ground. But again, both get utilized there in the passing game. The two Tampa Bay running backs also get utilized a lot with Davion Smith and Jaquez Patrick. Davion Smith had 24 carries. He also gets a little bit involved in the passing game, whereas Jaquez Patrick had 21 carries. Yes, Tampa Bay really does like establishing the run here. So I think both those guys as well are good options if you can get to them. Again, it makes it a little bit trickier though, just because of there not being a whole lot of great value. We'll get to the running back value in a bit, but there's really like nothing there. And then quarterback, right? That's why I like B.J. Daniels, is if he starts, that would open up a lot. I could get some good wide receivers in there. Could even get a decent price for running back in my lineup as well. We have Matt Jones and Christian Michael both questionable. If they both can't go, then we could look to Keith Ford here. Would probably be the workhorse. So that is something to keep an eye on. I assume both are going to play, but if one misses, you can look to the other one, obviously. If both miss, then obviously Keith Ford would probably become the best value play of the day. Let's see. I actually have some interest in James Butler at 6.7. The price has dropped. I know he doesn't utilize a whole lot in the running game, but he can catch some balls, right? And he's playing with the best offense. Could get some goal line touches too. So I do have a little bit of interest in James Butler here at 6.7K. The DC backs I'll probably pass. The Seattle running backs, I don't know if I get to any of them. Again, I think they're going to be playing from behind here, so they might phase out the running back. The New York backs, they seem priced okay. I'm not super excited there. The LA backs, they ran like a three-headed monster. No one really got big run. Again, not really excited there. Yeah, like I said, this is really a wasteland. There's nothing I'm really eyeing here. Yeah, like I said, I think the one play would be Keith Ford if one or even both those St. Louis running backs miss. But really, that's about it. It's kind of gross down here for cheap running backs. So I think that does it for the breakdown there. Let's talk about wide receivers. So I think getting to the two top receivers here with Cam Phillips and with Trey McBride is a really solid idea. Again, both are playing with the top two quarterbacks in this league. So I know Cam Phillips was let down there at 11.5K. Sure, he played 100% of the snaps, though. Not super worried about it, right? I think there's just one letdown game. So I like into Cam Phillips again. I also like into Trey McBride with no Nelson Spruce. He also played basically the whole game. 12 targets, 8 catches. Again, he's playing with Josh Johnson. The reason why I like getting to these two top spend-up guys is just because of the floor, right? They're playing with, I know Cam Phillips had a letdown game, but they're playing with the two top quarterbacks in the league. So I like getting to both those guys, pairing them with B.J. Daniels to open up a little bit of value, right? Again, that's assuming B.J. Daniels does pick up the start. I don't think I get to, so the next tier here, like I don't get to Parham with no Cardell Jones. I'm not going to get to Pearson L. Khalil Lewis is okay if you want to save some money on Cam Phillips. He currently is listed as questionable, though, so that could open up some value. Nick Holly is a guy that could be utilized a little bit more. He played on 100% of snaps, though, as well, but could make like Mobley a little bit more viable as a value play. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Let me get to we're on wide receiver here. Let's see. The Tampa Bay wide receivers, they're okay, but again, like quarterback play is a little bit not as great, right? So I'm not super confident. Like Dan Williams is fine, but again, I like spending up for these two top receivers because you get them with the two top quarterbacks in the league. The DC wide receivers is probably stay away from me. Now, the Seattle wide receivers I do like. I think getting one of those guys, pairing him with B.J. Daniels, again, that's assuming he starts, is a pretty solid idea. They should be playing from behind in this one. Again, this one should be played at a fast pace. So, Austin Proehl as well as Keenan Reynolds. I like both these guys a good amount. I think I'd prefer Keenan Reynolds just for the price, but these are two guys that I do have a good amount of interest in for Seattle. Again, this is they should be playing from behind in this one. They're probably going to be asked to throw the ball a lot. So I think getting to one of those guys, I'm going to throw Reynolds in there right now, is a pretty solid way to go about it. All right, again, this is assuming B.J. Daniels does start too. But back to wide receiver. So this next tier, I'm not super excited about a lot here. Again, the DC wide receiver is kind of a stay away. The Dallas wide receivers, no Landry Jones, I'll probably pass. Nick Howley's a guy I like at 7.1K. I know his price went up a lot, but he played 100% of snaps. Again, you have good quarterback play. If you don't want to get to Cam Phillips, right, and you want to save some money, I think getting to a guy like Nick Howley is fine, or one of those other Houston wide receivers. I think you want to get at least one of those Houston wide receivers in your lineup just because of their upside, right, playing with PJ Walker. So let's move on here. I think LaDainian Washington at 6.6K is a little bit interesting. Again, the downside with these the St. Louis wide receivers is just that they really like utilizing the running game there. Like Tolliver, Reese Horn are okay. I'd prefer them over Dan Williams just because they're cheaper. I think both those guys are fine. Kind of mid-tier plays. Nick Truesdale is a guy that I do like at 4.7. He was utilized a lot those first couple of weeks, and he was a full participant. I think he's gonna be good to go for this one. I think he's a pretty solid value play. So yeah, like I said, I would probably prefer him over Horn and Tolliver if Truesdale's not gonna be limited. Other options here, right? So Sam Mobley could be a value play, right, if Khalil Lewis can't go. So that's something to keep an eye on for sure. He would probably get more snaps there at under 4K. I think that really does, though. I don't think I want to take a shot on any of these really cheap guys. So then let's talk about defense. I think the defense I'm looking to right now is the Guardians defense at 3.2K, going up against a backup quarterback there in Dallas. So I like them. I'm definitely not going to get to the Dragons there against Houston. I don't think I get to the defenders there against St. Louis. I'll pass on the Vipers, also going up against a good offense there in the Wildcats. I think I have some interest in Dallas as well. So Dallas and New York, probably the two defenses I'm looking to the most. I think I would prefer New York, though, just for their price. So, yeah, I think that basically wraps it up. Again, guys, if B.J. Daniels doesn't start, I probably look to one of those three guys up top, whether it be Walker, Johnson, or Tiamo. Walker's obviously the safest there at his price. So, yeah, that's the way I'm going to go about this slate for Week 5. So hopefully that breakdown kind of helped you guys out. I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell. I will be back for another video to break down Week 6 XFL slate probably on next Thursday. Again, if you guys are interested in NBA content, I have my video up for the main slate on my channel. So thanks again for having to come and check the video. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys all next week for Week 6.